All of this is taken from my own first-hand experience making YouTube content for nearly 2 years, as well as substantial research on Reddit, speaking to other content creators, and spooling through YouTube's own content guidelines. YouTube uses an automated system to detect copyright. They scan every video that is uploaded to YouTube. If you are making the kinds of videos that would typically be considered fair use, such as reviews or parodies, you have two options. Both are exceptionally convenient and were designed to ensure that content creators have a quick and easy way to ensure that their videos, and in many cases, their livelihoods, are not affected by fraudulent copyright claims. The first option is to edit your video in such a way that it does not get caught by Content ID, such as by using very short clips, or by reducing the overall percentage of your video that uses copyrighted content. This is, of course, very simple to do, because the lengths of the clips and the overall percentage of the video using any particular copyrighted content that is permissible is an abstract number that changes for seemingly no reason. Here are just a few of the things that can dictate whether or not your video will be picked up by Content ID. The copyright holder. Some copyright holders have instructed YouTube to be far more restrictive than others. Which ones, I hear you ask? Well, from my experience, Amazon are pretty chill, Warner Brothers and Netflix are not. Other than that, it's up to you to discover for yourself through intense trial and error. The size of your channel. When I made my Rings of Power Season 1 videos, my channel was tiny. It grew from about 60 subs to about 5,000 as I released the videos. I did not have any issues with the Content ID system, but I have since heard that other much larger content creators had a tremendously difficult time releasing their videos on Rings of Power because they kept getting hit by the Content ID system. So how large does your channel have to be for this to matter? Well, it is up to you to discover for yourself through intense trial and error. The popularity of the video. Sometimes copyright holders may allow a video to be uploaded and released, but will only instruct YouTube to block the video once it has reached an arbitrary number of views. From my experience, the first of my Arcane videos went down on the day that it hit 100,000 views, and by this point the video had been out for over 3 months. And so the odds of this being a strange delay in the algorithm are minuscule. How many views can trigger a copyright claim? For my Arcane video, it was 100,000. When my second Arcane video hits 100,000, I am very confident that the same thing will happen again, but other than that, it is up to you to discover for yourself, through intense trial and error. Whether or not the video is uploaded in HD. If you are trying to upload your video and you do not want it to get flagged by Content ID, this can take many attempts. Printing your video in a lower resolution such as 720p can save a lot of time, as it will be much faster to both export the video from your editing software and upload it to YouTube due to the far smaller file size. This means, in theory, that you can spam more upload attempts in a shorter period of time. However, I have on more than one occasion had the 720p version of the video clear copyright, only for the exact same video uploaded in 1080p to trigger copyright. Why does this happen? Well, for the convenience of the content creators that earn YouTube over $15 billion every year. The overall length of the video. Another trick you can use is to upload your video in sections to try and pinpoint where the Content ID system is getting stuck. Sounds intuitive, right? Wrong. Because the Content ID algorithm considers not only the individual length of each clip, but also the overall length and percentage of footage that is used in the video. This means that uploading a 3-hour video in 6 30-minute sections may be perfectly okay, but uploading it as one single 3-hour video may not. Why? Well, to ensure that content creators spend as much time creating content as possible, rather than messing around re-editing and re-uploading the same video hundreds of times. So this appears to make an amount of sense, but to make things even simpler and to minimize frustration, YouTube will also sometimes delay their scan of your content for your convenience, of course. This means that you could have a video that was scanned on upload, was cleared, and then have this same video be hit with Content ID a few days later. Why does it work like this? Fuck you, that's why. The Content ID system, obviously being designed for the convenience of the content creator, is a system that would be functional, albeit frustrating to deal with, if it scanned every upload and told you when you uploaded the video, if it had passed or not. If the video is not cleared, you can go back and re-edit the offending portion, rinse and repeat until it clears. It may take 79 attempts or so, but that's just part of the fun of dealing with a fully functional automated copyright system. Unfortunately, you cannot do this if it takes the Content ID system upwards of 5 days to inform you whether or not your video has been detected as containing copyrighted content. because this would mean that in order to attempt to upload a video 79 times, as I did with my first Hobbit video, it would take well over a year of trial and error to release the video. Additionally, because the system is flawless and does exactly what it is supposed to do, if your video quote-unquote clears copyright when it is uploaded, this does not mean that the video is safe from manual claims. Just because the automated system didn't pick anything up, this does not mean the copyright holder has accepted that your video can go live. This means that any and all videos that you upload in this manner can be taken down at any moment by a bot or by a copyright holder. Which brings us to the other side of the copyright system, appeals and counter notifications. If your video does not clear the initial content ID scan and you are unwilling or unable to edit it in such a way that it would clear the scan, then you will need to appeal the claim. The appeal system is again designed to lower stress and to ensure that content creators are able to release the videos they have, in many cases, spent a very long time working on. Ideally, you should never have to issue an appeal, because the content ID system is mostly flawless and doesn't make mistakes. However, sometimes a video may be taken down after it has been released, and you may have no choice but to appeal the copyright claim. The only other option being to leave the video down and then perhaps re-edit and re-upload it, thereby killing whatever growth you had on the original video, even if it does get past the Content ID system. And again, even if it does get past the Content ID system, it could go down at any point regardless. Anyway, if you issue an appeal, you have to provide a detailed explanation as to why your video is not a breach of copyright, and this information is then passed from YouTube to the relevant copyright holder. The copyright holder can then either be like, okay, yeah, this doesn't breach our copyright, and they will then release the claim. This is exactly what happened with 3 of my Hobbit videos and both of my Rebel Moon videos. Alternatively, they can ignore it, and after 7 days, the claim is released automatically. Or, alternatively, the copyright holder can decide, fuck you, and they can tell YouTube to take your video down. If they do this, theoretically, they are only doing so because they genuinely believe that you have infringed upon their copyright, and they have issued a legal notice to YouTube to prevent your video from being viewed on their platform, also known as a DMCA takedown, and YouTube are legally required to comply with this. Oh, and if this happens, your channel receives a copyright strike. Copyright strikes expire after 90 days, but if you receive 3 within a 90-day period, all of your channels and all of your videos are deleted forever. If this was your job, it isn't anymore. You do not risk getting 3 copyright strikes within a 90-day period. 1 strike doesn't actually mean anything, but 2 strikes will affect your ability to issue further appeals within the next 90 days, should the need arise. This means that, if you are sat on 2 strikes, and one of your videos is taken down fraudulently, tough fucking shit. If you issue that appeal and you lose, your channel is gone. However, losing an appeal isn't the end of the world, as YouTube has very clear and consistent rules regarding what will happen next, should you choose to escalate further. The counter notification. If a copyright holder removes your video and you issue a counter notification in response, you are telling the copyright holder, fuck you, sue me. This then puts the ball in their court, pun intended, and they have to take direct legal action against you in order to prevent the video from being released. In theory, they will only do this if they believe they will win, and if they believe the video to be a blatant breach of copyright, such as if you had simply uploaded an entire movie to YouTube. At the time of releasing this video, I have had to issue 3 counter notifications. However, I have spoken to a couple of much larger channels than myself, and it seems counter notifications are not something you should ever do unless you absolutely need to because of the risks involved. When you issue a counter notification, you need to provide additional personal information and provide a more detailed explanation as to why you believe that you are not infringing upon their copyright. So, okay, you may be thinking, well, this all sounds highly convenient, concise, and straightforward. If you are not taking the piss and you get a copyright strike due to losing an appeal, so what? You can just issue the counter notification and you're all good, right? Wrong! YouTube evidently has agreements with different copyright holders that can include rejecting any and all counter notifications. This was the case with my Mission Impossible video, where I issued a counter notification and YouTube declined to forward it to Paramount, leaving me with a copyright strike that will expire at the end of September. What recourse do you have if this happens to you? Well, you can email the copyright holder. YouTube provides content creators with contact information for the relevant copyright holder in the event of a copyright strike. This, of course, means that you can email them and they will then not reply because they have no obligation to respond or even read your email. They can simply ignore it and you have no further recourse beyond, I guess, suing them. And after that, it gets even better. In the specific case of Paramount, the email address YouTube provided me with was a Gmail email address. Because obviously one of the largest film studios in the world uses a fucking Gmail email address. All the while, YouTube has a little notification on your dashboard telling you that they think it is possible that you are misusing their counter notification system. If true, the penalty for misusing the counter notification system is instant channel termination. So, did I misuse the counter notification system? No. And I'm not just saying that either. As I mentioned, I previously submitted 2 counter notifications. One to Warner Brothers for my Battle of the Five Armies video that I appealed before releasing, and I had to counter notify in order to release it. And another to Netflix for my first Arcane video, which was taken down after being up for 3 months. In both of these cases, I used the exact same argumentation, the exact same rationale, and the exact same detailed explanation for why my video would clearly be considered fair use. In both of these cases, the counter notifications were accepted by YouTube and were forwarded to Warner Brothers and Netflix. In both cases, they did not respond within 10 days, and my videos were able to go live, and because they missed their chance to respond or just ignored me, they cannot now change their mind and take down the video. So coming back to Paramount and my copyright strike, I issued the exact same counter notification that I had issued successfully twice before, as the nature of the use of the copyrighted material is the same as in both prior instances. And when I say I used the same argumentation and explanation, I mean that literally. All 3 counter notifications that I have issued have been copy and pastes of each other. And yet, mysteriously, YouTube refused to forward it to Paramount, and upon doing some further research, it appears not unlikely that Paramount has instructed YouTube to block any and all copyrighted content that is picked up by Content ID, no questions asked. Of course, I only know this because I went through YouTube's own process and discovered it firsthand. Had this been clear to me when I first uploaded my video, I wouldn't have wasted my time re-editing it, I wouldn't have bothered appealing it, and I would not currently be sitting on a copyright strike. So I hope you will all agree that YouTube's copyright system is both fair and transparent. The only reason why you would ever fall afoul of it is if you are dishonestly uploading copyrighted material in a non-transformative manner. It is clearly designed so that you waste as little time as possible, and so that you never have to stress that your income may be negatively affected at any point because of an overzealous copyright algorithm, a copyright holder being a twat, or YouTube customer service being a non-existent entity. Thank you all for watching, I hope you have learned something. And as always, praise be to our YouTube gods, who knoweth best, and who knoweth all.